Time staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Time staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.
Today might not be the best day for the sheep to get shorn and get their summer skivvies on, but today is the day that it's going to happen. I have a gentleman coming out to shear our sheep, and for the first time I get to see what most of them look like without their winter hair. So, that's what's happening today. Let's get into it. Everybody is pretty darn inquisitive as Chad gets his tools ready. Got the piece of plywood down, and that is something seriously incredible to investigate. Everybody but Betty has been shorn, and we're going to start with Luna today because she was, well, right there as Luna tends to be. Chad has this piece of plywood down to help him with the maneuvering of these ewes. It helps them skid a little bit better and not really get stuck up on the bedding that they're on right now. It just works as a better work surface for him. It's easier on the ewes and it's easier on him. These girls aren't in any pain as he's doing this. He sets them up on their bum so that they stay calm. And there's kind of like a little happy spot where they're just hanging out. They're just getting it done. Chad is working with a clipper that is pretty fast paced. He is taking incredible care to be cautious of teat ends on my ewes, which I really appreciate because if there's no teat end, then there is no teat. So that side of the udder would be considered useless. As he's going over her hips, he's pulling back on her skin to kind of tighten it over so that he doesn't have a ripple, and that allows him for an easier, closer cut without having an issue. As Chad gets done with Luna's kind of back end area and a little bit up her back, he's going to reposition her after he gets done with her little puff on her head to a more upright position, and that allows him to kind of come up her neck and essentially peel her sort of like an onion. It allows him more access to kind of go down the rest of her body. Chad does a really good job of being cautious of Luna's eyes and ears when he's going around her head like this. It's a little bit of a tricky, precarious situation because if she moves at the wrong point, it could be an interesting thing. He has actually got her positioned really well because she's not moving at all and just really willing to sit there and chill. At about this time, you guys are going to be able to watch him kind of work a little bit faster on her, and then we'll work through the rest of the ewes at pretty much this same pace. I want to make sure that you guys can watch him work because it is actually a very satisfying thing to see. And these ladies have gobs of wool to come off. I did ask Chad what their wool might be used for, and he said probably socks or blankets or rugs, mostly because the sheep with the black legs seem to have a little bit more black in their hair, and so when they go to dye it, it doesn't stay dyed as true and as vibrant as, say, the white breeds of sheep. Now it's Scarlett's turn, and Scarlett gives everybody a hard time no matter who they are or what they want. She's an attitude-filled little lady. As we watch Scarlett attempt to be in a good mood and attempt to let Chad shear her without too much fuss or muss, I did want to add that these ewes are kept inside the barn this time of year, and that actually comes into play because for the last couple days it's been kind of sleety and rainy, and Chad can't shear these sheep with them being wet. Their wool actually has to dry out if they were wet. So if they were outside on a day like today, or a day like it has been the last couple days, he wouldn't have been able to shear these sheep today. His blades don't run through that kind of thing, he says. It also is more beneficial for the ewe to be dry when shearing because it pulls a lot less on her wool when he's making those cuts down her body to try to take the wool off. I was really torn on whether or not to do a voice overlay on this video, but I forgot to turn off the radio, so that is the option that you guys get today because I failed. But so be it. I'm hoping that I'm not annoying you guys too much and giving you some interesting knowledge that you may not have known before. As Chad gets in the thick of things with Scarlett, I am going to add some music in here so that you guys can just sit back and watch him work. He does a really awesome job, and it's kind of mesmerizing to watch him get these ladies shorn and cleaned up.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling, I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going life. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
As Chad is finishing up with Tiana, we are aware of her rectal prolapse that she's starting to have. It's not going to be a big deal. It goes right back in. I'm definitely going to keep a super close eye on her for a while, and in the future for this issue to happen. But this is why I do not condone short tails. Short tails, in my opinion, lead to a lot of issues with rectal prolapses, especially in ewes that give birth. They wind up pushing a little bit too hard, and things that should stay in come out. Super short tails like my ewes have tend to be a club lamb type of thing. 4-H, FFA, that kind of thing really likes them to be high and tight, so to speak, with their tails. And I wish that they weren't so like that, because I really think for the longevity of the animal and for the issues that the animal could possibly have in the future, it's really not worth it. It's a cosmetic thing. It's like clipping dogs' ears. And yes, I believe that docking tails should happen, because I've seen firsthand, like with Betty here, she doesn't have a dock tail, and her back end gets incredibly messy. So I believe that they should have dock tails, but I also believe that those dock tails should not be incredibly short for reasons of vanity or show purposes. I believe that they should still be able to have a tail that goes over their bum and allows them to help close their sphincter really well. However, the ewes that I have right now did not have that same situation happen. They were raised as club lambs and their tails were docked as such. Do I think I'm gonna catch a little flack for that comment? Yes, I probably will. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, and from the things that I've seen firsthand, obviously it's one of those things where if you want to deal with medical issues, then go ahead and dock the tails that short. If you want to deal with possibly less issues, then, you know, stick with a little bit longer tails. They are born with long tails, so to dock them so short that basically it's right up at the edge of their back, I don't believe that that's necessary. I think that it is a vanity thing, and like I said, I probably will catch a little flack, but so be it. Please be kind. It's just things that I've observed with my little flock that I do have, and so I guess I could say that I've observed both ends of the situation, both tails, if you will. But enough of the controversial issues. Let's get stuck in and watch the rest of Betty's shearing, and then guess what, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's on to Maddox. And I'll tell you what, Betty has a heck of a lot more wool than Maddox did. There's just two little areas on Betty that got a little bit close, so I'm just putting some Illuma spray on it, and she is right as rain. Next is Maddox, big boy Maddox. I tell you what, he was absolutely not wanting to be cooperative during this situation. He was like, nah man, I'm good. I like my wool. I like my fluffy face. I am awesome. You could just leave me alone. However, that's not the case because, well, summertime is coming and he needs to be clean. Clean, I mean everything but his legs, because we might show him this year in a couple open shows, and it's breed standard for baby doll Southdowns to have fluffy legs because, well, they have fluffy legs. Despite what Maddox thinks about his new haircut, I think that he looks gorgeous. I mean, rugged and manly, of course. No, seriously, he does look really small, but he is very beautiful with his coloration. He's very, very jet black when he's all cleaned up and when he doesn't have bleached wool. Sun-bleached wool. It's cool to see him like this. I've never seen Maddox so not fluffy. It's Maddox with the last to be shorn. Let's take a walkabout and look at everybody else. See how they're doing. Everybody looks so different. Betty kind of looks more like a goat than a sheep right now. And Luna looks very wide. You're not going to show yourself off? Maddox looks pretty small right now. He's about the same size as Roman here. Very not so puffy. I miss his cheeks already. But he's going to be a heck of a lot happier come springtime with all that fleece gone. And look at how dark and pretty he is. Oh my goodness. That is Scarlet. It's like she just is shy about how she looks now. She looks so big and bulky, and now she just has a really, really long neck and a smaller body. It's incredible how different they look after they're shorn. Late night check with the cows, and I'm also going to check on the sheep. I am checking mostly on June, who has a very interesting goopy slime coming out of her, which is pretty typical. It's basically she's just losing her mucus plug and getting closer to calving. But I don't believe it's going to be tonight. She's chewing her cud, so hopefully she holds off a little while because it's snowing again. And of course, since I'm out and about, I'm going to check on everybody that just got shorn. I'm going to check on Betty to make sure that she didn't get too stressed out and wants to lamb. And I'm going to check on Tiana's back end. And look at you. Now we see you. But it looks pretty good. It looks a little bit chilly, but she'll be all right. How you doing, Mama? How's your hinder? All looks well. Awesome possum. And we'll check on Mr. Maddox as well. He seems to be doing just fine. Thanks so much, guys, for hanging out, and we'll check you later.
I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.